What is going on, everybody? I know it's hard to see, but we got homemade cheese enchiladas. So we did a homemade enchilada sauce, habanero, chile de arbol, inspired enchilada sauce with the regular characters: cumin, oregano, white wine vinegar, some salt. I used Rotel diced tomatoes, the habanero diced tomatoes, and then what's left of the sauce. And then inside of the enchiladas themselves, we have diced white onion, diced fresh habanero, and what else did I put in there? And cheese. I'm sorry, cheddar cheese. Let's give it a try. So this is my leftover plate from last night. I made these last night. Today is Sunday, October, I don't know whatever the date is. But I made these last night. These are the three I had left. I made two nice batches of them, and I destroyed them last night. So I just wanted to bring another video to you for the playlist from my kitchen. And just some simple shredded lettuce. There's no dressing on there. Diced tomato, radish, sour cream, crumbling cheese on top. And then I also baked my enchiladas with some black olives, sliced black olives. I don't always like olives on my enchiladas, but this was an homage to my mom. She made some of the best cheese and onion enchiladas I've ever had, and they're just, it's what I'm used to. So obviously she didn't make them with habaneros or make them super spicy like I did, but she always used to have black olives on them. Something I've always remembered, and so I added those on. Last night these had me sweating. After about two of them, I was already kind of feeling it. I like my enchiladas with the sauce kind of baked on there so that it's not like a real runny sauce. As you can see, it's got a little liquidity to it, but it's pretty thick as well for an enchilada sauce. I have a review coming up on this sauce just by itself, a quick little 5-minute review because it came out phenomenally, where I can actually use it as a hot sauce with Mexican food. Although it does speak enchilada sauce. And then, so we made the enchiladas. I just got corn tortillas. I didn't make those. That would be nice. I've never made my own homemade tortillas. Maybe one day I will. But I, cooked them first a little bit in a skillet so they're more pliable, easier to roll. And then and then I dipped them in the sauce. And then I rolled them. Then I put about a half a bottle of this over the top of them before putting them in the oven to bake them. So we got a lot of habanero here. I mean, we got fresh habanero in the cheese enchiladas, which I think for 10 enchiladas I made, I used, I think 6 diced up habaneros, fresh. And then I used 5 fresh habaneros in the sauce itself with 15 chile de arbos that were dried, and then I rehydrated them. And then also in the sauce is the diced tomatoes, the Rotel, the habanero ones. They're phenomenal. They got some nice spice to them as well, for a mainstream type product. Rotel also has the ghost pepper. I've reviewed those or talked about that. That's a phenomenal diced tomato in a can as well. You know, and I like a little shredded lettuce with my refried beans, with my enchiladas. Just gives it a little crunch, gives it a little freshness. And I did some diced tomato just for color pop, but I don't always use the tomato. But my favorite enchiladas are just straight up cheese. And I've never made cheese habanero enchiladas before. Until last night. They were a little hotter last night. I reheated these in a skillet on the stove, about 10 minutes, whatever. Put a little water in there, let them steam. I put a little extra shredded cheese on top that wasn't there last night, and then I drizzled some more of this over the top of them. But they felt hotter to me last night. But again, I didn't measure out in each enchilada how much fresh habanero was going into each one before I rolled them, right? I just sprinkled that shit in there. Boom, boom, boom. So some of them have a little bit more habanero and you can taste it. Anyways, just wanted to share a little something I cooked up for dinner last night. It's starting to get warm now. This enchilada, it's kind of coming apart now. This enchilada here is hotter than the other two. That's what I was getting at. It's got to have more fresh habs in there. Yeah, I can tell that one's got some fire in it. But you can really taste the fresh, kind of tropical fruity notes of the habanero in this. It brings something really good to the plate. I've never had enchiladas with chili peppers inside of them like this. Obviously tacos, burritos, and one of my favorite Hispanic, Salvadorian, but Hispanic style foods is pupusas. And I get my pupusas beans, cheese, jalapeno, or at this other spot, beans, cheese, habanero. Depending on which Salvadorian restaurant I'm going to. But I've never had it in an enchilada before until today and last night. But it's tits. My nose kind of starting to run a little bit. I recorded this video last night after I'd been, I've been having a few because I was cooking and doing everything, and so I made a video of this last night that was probably a little bit better in terms of just talking about the process of making everything and what we actually are eating here. But I didn't like it because I'd been drinking. So I figured we had leftovers. We'll get another video made. Had a couple people on the channel say they like these videos of food that I've made in my own kitchen. Again, that are spicy related, pepper related, hot sauce related. And this is the hottest enchilada sauce I've ever had at a restaurant that I've ever made. and it came out really well because of the cumin and the oregano. It really speaks. There's garlic in there, white onion. Anyways, I got a video coming on the sauce itself with the recipe and whatnot. But it's starting to get warm now, you know. I can feel it a little bit on the top of the stomach. Not cramping, not hurting. Just warm. I can feel it at the top of the throat a little bit, in the front of the palate right now. And I'm on my last bite of enchiladas. And I got a little bead of sweat dripping. I don't know if you can see it, but I can definitely feel it. Now also, I bake my enchiladas and stuff a little bit longer than most people would because I like, and there's other people out there like it, right? For sure. I like them a little crispy. I like them a little, not necessarily burnt, but I like that cheese to be burnt. So we put more shredded cheese over the top of them, obviously, as well as what's in it. And then I added just a little bit more in the last minute here of reheating these. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, you know, just some homemade enchiladas, homemade enchilada sauce. Yeah, I just thought it was unique. Habanero, but habanero and cheese in this like context, in this type of food this way, same as the pupusas I was talking about, they just pair really well. Habanero and cheese is just a fantastic combination. So anytime you're eating something, you're doing cheese heavy items, so cheese quesadilla, okay? I made quesadillas like 2 weeks ago, and I used green chili this time instead of habaneros, but habanero's my go-to in a cheese quesadilla. It's fucking phenomenal. These are too. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you guys for burning with me. I'm going to try to do a couple pod reviews next week. I still have some peppers from when I, ended up in the hospital that are surviving. And it wasn't like I was told not to burn super hard. I just wanted to take it easy, but I miss it. You know what I mean? I miss eating some fresh pods and doing those reviews. I mean, that's my favorite kind of review to do. And so I'm going to try to do a couple next week, and we'll see. So anyways, all right, y'all. Have a good weekend.